Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. Here with me is our co-host, back at it. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. Irv is finally back on the show. He's still on vacation for his Christmas break, but it's okay. It's okay. He's able to get on today. Hopefully, for the next two more episodes this week, we'll have him on. So let's get right into it, right? Shall we? We are here on Recap Monday, Season 6, Episode number 13 here on the Fire Sports Pod. We are powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. Let's get right into it. We got two segments for you guys. We're going to stick to NFL. We're going to do some recap. What happened this past week with some NFL scores? What did that mean for some NFC and AFC playoff pictures? And then we'll be going over some MVP odds, who we got for MVP personally, and who does ESPN and everybody has for MVP, and NFL mock draft. We're going to be going over all the teams that kind of fumbled their bag on one of the top picks this past week, which were the Giants, which were the Raiders, and I think that's it. Am I correct?
Yeah, Giants, okay. Raiders.
Giants, Raiders. And then our last thing, we'll also be going over whether or not the picks that these teams will be making in this mock draft, so-called, are good for their team and does it make sense. So let's get right into it. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to be going over some games that me and Irv thought that stuck out to us that really had some implications for the playoffs. So here we go. We're going to start with the Bears and the Seahawks. One of the worst games I've ever watched. I thought the other game between the Rams and 49ers was bad a couple weeks ago. This one was atrocious.
It was terrible.
I'm just going to skip over this. The Seahawks needed to win. They got the win. The Bears absolutely suck. They really need their entire offensive line is garbage. They really need help in the offensive line, so hopefully they get that in the draft. Chargers, Patriots. We all knew the Chargers were the better team. I think Drake May getting hurt early really killed the Patriots. Any chances of them even be competitive in this game? He came back, but still, him getting hurt did not help. Their defense was not able to sustain or stop Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I would say the best game that I saw all weekend, two games, were the Packers-Vikings, which we'll get to, and the Broncos-Bengals on Saturday had big AFC implications for the playoffs. If the Bengals lose, they're out of the playoffs. Broncos are in. If the Bengals win, they keep their season alive, and the Broncos just need to win one game for them to advance to the next round. Now, the Broncos play the Chiefs this coming week. The Chiefs will be sitting a lot of their players, but still, the Broncos need a big-time win to get into the playoffs. If the Broncos lose and the Bengals win, the Bengals will kick their ticket into the playoffs, as long as I believe is because the Colts lost, and I believe the Dolphins also the Dolphins won. So with the Colts losing, the Dolphins winning, if the Bengals win, I believe they're in, and the Broncos lose, I believe they're in. Now, for the Broncos, all they got to really do is win, and then I think they'll be good. And I think they need the Bengals to lose. I'm not so certain, but I believe it's just they need to win. They needed to win just last week to get in, so I believe they just need to win this week. But if they don't, then there's going to have a problem. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. But that was a great game. In overtime, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins was on that connection. They were having a fantastic time. It was one of the best games I've seen all year. It was a really, really good game.
Joe Burrow as a baller, man. And I feel like because of the Bengals being terrible this season because of their defense, I really think he's being overshadowed. But, I mean, we're going to talk about it later in terms of MVPs and stuff. But this guy is a baller, man. He's been doing really well.
If he had a better record, I think he's in the MVP case.
100%. He's first. I think he's first in like the majority of the.
He's first in every category.
Yeah, in every category. So
we got to give homage to the Broncos, man. The Broncos, Bo Nix, man. He's the real.
Bo Nix he started off rough the first couple of games during the season, and then he just started picking it up, and he's just been
crazy. Last 4 games, they've been averaging over 24 points a game, over 400 something. They were playing really good. The last game, what a game, what a down, what a play call, what a play call. 4th and 1, Bo Nix out of the backfield throws a prayer to the end zone. Mims comes down with it with 2 guys draped on him, for the touchdown on 4th and 1 to save the game and push it to overtime. I think if I was Sean Payton, I would have just chanced it. You just got to win in order to get to the playoffs. Again, especially against Joe Burrow. And the Broncos had plenty of chances in that overtime. They stopped them twice. They couldn't get the ball movement. I would have just went for two. And
Mhm.
you lose, you win, you win. But they would decide to go to overtime, and Joe Burrow and T. Higgins absolutely gamed them.
Yeah,
T. Higgins
I
had a
agree.
monster game, 3 touchdowns, over 120 yards. What a game! I would say the other great game, like I said, was the Packers Vikings. Very big implications of their side of the NFC. Packers would have win. It would have made it a little interesting. Vikings won 27-25. They almost gave up a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. It was close, but the Vikings were able to get the job done. Sam Darnold, another brilliant game, 30 of 40, almost 400 yards passing with 3 touchdowns and a pick. I mean, he was just having a balling out. Jordan Love came alive late, but it was just a little too late. The Vikings put them in that predicament because they missed 2 field goals. Their automatic kicker,
Okay.
um, decided to miss 2 pretty easy field goals that he usually makes. And that was really the difference of the game. They would have been up by 8. Instead of up by 2, and basically the game would have been over after that. So I would say that the Vikings had it, but they were able to win another close game, which they're known for. They're
Mhm.
25-9 in close games um in the last 3 years total. So that just shows how great they are and how good they've been under their coach.
Yeah.
But any other games for you, Mr. Irv, that stood out to you that we got to go over?
I mean,
Oh,
I feel
oh, I
like
forgot. Falcons
which one?
Commanders. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanna,
No, you could take that one because
all right. I mean, I was tuning into the game here and there because, as you could probably see, our Buccaneers, my Buccaneers, beat gave a little belt to ass to the Panthers. You know what I mean? We gave them a nice little spanking. We saw that they scored twice, but we weren't phased. We weren't shocked by the result. We just kept coming back, and I mean Baker balling out. Oof, almost like 360 yards with 5 TDs. Oh, oh, he is a baller, man. And beating them 48-14, that automatically puts us ahead of this playoff race that we're doing with our division rival, the Falcons. And the reason why we are ahead is because we won and the Falcons lost. To who? Jaden McDaniels. That was a wonderful game, OT game. Falcons had it when all they had to do, the kicker, was a little bit more power because he had it right there in the middle. He had it down the middle right there, but it was just too weak. It was too short. And that ultimately put Falcons in a very uncomfortable position. They are now going to verse another division rival with the Panthers. They're gonna verse them, and if they win, the Bucks need to lose for them to advance. But if the Bucks win, they advance automatically. The Bucks just can't lose because then they have to have the Falcons lose, and
Who the Bucks play?
the Bucks play the Saints, a division rival, and the Falcons play the Panthers. So I'm more comfortable. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm still a little bit shaky because I know the Saints are doing terrible this season, but I think they're a better team than the Panthers in my opinion. Even though Bryce Young just awakened out of nowhere, they're still the defense is still not that solid. So I'm not really worried. I mean, I am worried for the Falcons and the Panthers game because I feel like the Falcons will beat the Panthers, but I'm also afraid of the Bucks losing to the Saints. Why? I don't know. I believe in my team. I'm confident. I guess I'm just a fan of the sport itself, and any professional sport, the underdogs for some reason always find a chance to win. But I don't know. We're gonna see. Maybe the Saints might tank this game to get a higher position in the draft. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? All I know is that the Bucks are in the advantage. They're in the seat now, and you know what I mean. They just got to beat the bricks out of the Saints, and we're in the playoffs. What other game? Speaking about the Saints, you got the Raiders and Saints game, which was a surprise to everyone. Was the Raiders actually dropping 25 points and only allowing 10 points from the Saints? What in the world?
Without
Raiders
Max Crosby.
without their best defensive guy, you just beat a team
He might
25
be.
to
He might
10.
be. No, he might be the best player on the entire team.
And I don't disagree with that. I genuinely do not disagree with that because the Raiders are just terrible. They're terrible. And you want to be up there to get, a quarterback because I'm sorry, but O'Connell, he's your star quarterback because now, well, I mean, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about this later. So we're only doing recaps now. So Raiders don't know why you guys were good that game. You know what I mean? But you were good. Another team, the Giants and Colts.
Eh, 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 eh.
Goodness gracious, Giants fans are kicking in their sleep right now.
As a
I mean,
Cowboys fan, I gotta
listen,
clap this.
we're gonna talk about this later because there's actually
They're so stupid. Irv,
it's stupid, but when we talk about the draft later, we're gonna see how stupid enough it was
dude,
because
they
they need a
scored
quarterback.
45 points. They
Where was this
probably,
during the season?
dude,
Bro?
exactly. They probably scored 45 points. That has probably been the most points they've scored in the last 3 games combined.
Oh my gosh, man!
Dude, they beat the Colts. Like Anthony Richardson was out, we understand, but Joe Flacco lost to the. Well, I don't think that the Colts defense gave up 45 points to Drew Lock. They made him look. They made him look like prime Peyton Manning. And the great thing is he's white, so he's perfect. That's exactly what it is. He's just missing the number. If you had him at 18, that's Peyton Manning in the flesh. Dude, he missed like
he
5
threw
passes.
Drew Lock threw 300 with 4 touchdowns.
And how many incompletions?
He only had 6 incompletions.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, bro.
He
turned
only
into
had
prime
6
Drew Brees.
incompletions. He was 17 and 23.
He
6 incompletions.
just went into prime Drew Brees and Peyton Manning X. They scored 45 points at home. And I bet you all the Giant fans at MetLife were like, no, lose.
I think all the Giants fans purposely bought Colts gear to intimidate their own team because that's what they needed to do. But then they see Malik Neighbors, who is a really good wide receiver.
He hit the 1,000 mark last night.
Yeah, he was a really good one. 170 yards with.
Yep. What they want to say is that our Cowboy fans are horrible and are terrible and whatever. When you guys are probably the ones that are just literally, like you said, gonna wear Colts gear just to F with your own team at home. Like, that's some pretty effed up shit, man.
It is, but I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't blame them. They had a pretty effed up season. They had a really bad season. And it was losses after losses, even picking up Malik Neighbors, who's a really good, and then letting go of a guy that you signed 200 mil extension. And then now you're worried about starting Johnny, and then you end up starting Drew Lock after. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah,
you start DeVito after you let go of your prime star quarterback, and after you do that, you have Lock there who was pretty decent in the Broncos,
and then Seattle,
and then you start him like close to the end of the season. I don't understand that. What was that move?
I don't know. To be honest, personally, I think Drew Lock should have started the entire year.
I personally think that if you're paying somebody 200 mil maximum like extension, you would obviously play him. But if you're letting go of him, start Drew Lock. He has more experience than DeVito. Like,
I'm sorry, I like DeVito, but like, bro, he ain't that good.
Thank God I'm not a Giants fan. Thank
God. I always thought you were a Giants fan.
Hell no.
I'm so happy that you're a Bucs fan, even though I don't like the Bucs too much, but I can respect them that they've had such great years, and I love Mike Evans, and I love Baker Mayfield. I love the coach. What's his name? Todd Bowles.
Yeah, Todd Bowles. Yeah,
I love Todd. Mm-hmm. I love Todd. I love what you guys have done. I just don't like the history of the Bucs. It's just not me. But
Yeah, I mean, I know we had a pretty much irrelevant years, and then we started drafting good defensive guys. We got Mike
And
Evans,
then
and
you
then we
were
just
lucky
started
to
building
have
up.
Tom Brady for
For
2 years.
some reason, Tom Brady just fell into our laps because I'd even see that coming. I was just like, damn, Tom Brady's leaving the Patriots. Wonder where he's gonna go. Because my family are Patriots fans too. Like my uncle, he's a Patriots fan. So when I saw that, I was like, damn, I feel bad. Whatever. Let's just see where he goes. Tampa Bay, Florida. What? And then on top of that, we have a fairy tale season because you're talking about a new guy, new system, new
Then he
everything.
brought in Gronk.
He brought Gronk, who was supposed to go to Detroit, retired until Brady called him and was like, "Yo, we
And then
need
he
you."
bought Antonio Brown, which was good,
Oh
and
my,
then
it
screwed
was
up at
good.
the end. That was
It screwed
perfect.
up at the end, but listen, we got a chip off of that.
Exactly.
We got a chip off of that, and then we
Not
ended up. I
complaining.
think. I think we ended up in the playoffs. The following season, and then that's when
Yeah, that's when Dallas absolutely obliterated you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, okay, bro. Okay, bro. That's what you
But
guys
I'm
doing,
just
bro.
saying, I already knew that was going to happen because the fact of the matter is Tom Brady wasn't playing good all year. I knew that was going to happen. And then we got absolutely smacked by San Francisco. Actually, nah, it was actually a close game. We just folded.
Yeah, pretty bad.
And then the next year we played against Green Bay, and that's when we got smacked. We got kaboomed like badly, and we
Yeah.
have not recovered since then, which is a bad thing, man. We went 17-0 at home for the last like 2 years before, and then fucking we come into this year and we're like 0-6, 1-6, freaking getting blown out by like 25 a game. God damn it, man.
Yeah, but for some reason that didn't apply when you versed us. Like it just didn't apply
What?
when you versed us. When it was the
Oh
Bucks
yeah, that
against the
like
Cowboys.
that was the one win we had at home.
Like, do you understand what that mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, again,
I
like
know,
it's a
but to be honest, dude, that felt awesome. But the fact of the matter is, the previous week we lost to the Bengals. If we would have lost, we would have beat the Bengals off that stupid ass punt that was flopped, and we would have been able to beat you guys.
yeah.
Philly, it would have been a different animal in Philly. I don't care what anybody says. We weren't playing for nothing. Only reason why we played so well against you guys because we thought we were playing for something. We weren't gonna just like, oh, since we're not in, we heard 3 hours before kickoff, we're not gonna just play. Nah, against Philly, nobody showed up. The only person that showed up was Michael Parsons. Everybody else did not show up. And Rico Dowell. Those two guys are the only people that fucking showed up. I'll say Tolbert showed up because he made some good catches, Brandon Cooks. But in general, Michael Parsons and Rico Dowell was the only people that showed up. Cooper Rush, he was like, I don't got to play for shit. I'm still getting paid. Let me throw a pick six. Let me throw another interception. Let me Jake Ferguson. Let me fumble on the fucking 40-yard line of fucking Philly. Let me do all this crap. Yeah, we didn't care. We didn't care about
But
that.
hey, and speaking about Philly, by the way, we gotta talk about Saquon Barkley, man. We
Saquon.
gotta talk about him. Saquon's been balling. I mean, I can know because he's in my fantasy team. Like I told you before, that brother is a baller. Let's just quickly.
No,
Yep.
I love Saquon. I hate
Yeah.
that he's on two of the worst teams I hate, which are the
Yeah.
Giants and the Eagles. I wish he was on the
He.
Bucks. I wish he was on somebody else's team so I can root for him a lot more because I really like him as a person,
Mhm.
as a player, as an individual. He's a freaking fantastic dude. So I've heard. So I think he's great. I just wish that he wasn't on those fucking teams.
Yeah.
It would help me a
Yeah.
lot.
I think. Yeah. 100%. But yeah, Saquon just passing the 2,000 mark. He's
Dude, he's,
closing in on
he's
that
going
title.
after Eric Dickerson, man. He's going after him. I need to think he needs 100 and something yards, 101, something like that, 115, something to
Yeah.
break his record. Eric
Hmm.
uh Dickerson's rushing record. Yeah. So Saquon tops 2,000 and moves within 100 yards of Eric Dickerson's record. So he needs about 100 yards to pass
Wow.
Eric Dickerson.
And
And he can get that, and he can get that. He can get that. Again, I believe the Eagle. I forgot who. Let me check who the Eagles are playing, but I believe he did. Oh, they're playing the Giants.
oh
He,
my gosh, he's
he
breaking the record.
but the problem is
Yo,
are they going to play him? Do they risk him
I
getting
I
injured against the
think
division
I
rival in
I
Giants?
think they're gonna play him.
No, I
I
think they're
think
going to play him. I just
they're
hope that.
gonna
Well,
definitely do
to
that.
be honest, I hope for the Eagles' downfall. I really don't care, but I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But what if he gets hurt? They're screwed.
I think so. I think that's a personal decision by Saquon, and I think it's a decision by the organization itself. Because if Saquon's saying I'm ready, let's go, I think they're going to continue to play him
Oh
because they
yeah,
want
no,
him
no,
to break
he's
that
gonna
record.
get it. The point of the matter is that does he get it without getting injured?
I don't think he gets it without getting injured. I mean, I think he will because he's been very durable the whole entire season. I
Yeah,
think.
but again, he's used to he's been injured a lot with again the Giants' offensive line, the Eagles' offensive line is totally fucking different. But
Yeah.
he's been injured and whatever. And to be honest, this perfectly symmetrics into our second segment, which going into the MVP odds. You got Lamar Jackson, you got Josh Allen, you have Saquon Barkley on the outskirts. We had Derrick Henry in there as well, but he's been calmed down a little bit after his run. I'm sorry, I think you got to go with co MVP for the second time, for the third time in this history of the NFL. I think you got to go co-MVP. I think Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson do have unbelievable numbers. Lamar Jackson has
Yeah, they're insane.
4,207 yards with 42 touchdowns. Josh Allen has 4,200 and something yards with 41 touchdowns. And on top of that, when you have turnovers, Lamar has 9 total turnovers. Josh Allen has 8 total turnovers. I think in general you have to give this co MVP for the third time in NFL history. Why? Because of the fact of the matter is that they're having identical years.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention the rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen has probably so many more that's combined together. You have 41, 42.
484 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, rushing yards. I mean, oops.
Oh, I was like, whoa,
Yeah, I
whoa.
was like, he has 484 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns, like rushing.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, and then
Josh
Lamar
Allen?
Jackson has Josh Allen has 484 rushing with 11 TDs, and then Lamar Jackson has 734 rushing touchdowns with with 743 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns. Oh my gosh, these tongue twisters, bro! I swear.
So, like I said, like Lamar's doing all his thing throwing. He's got 38 touchdowns, 39 touchdowns throwing, and 3 touchdowns running for a total of
Hmm.
42.
Hmm.
Josh Allen's got 29 for a total of third of with 11 rushing. That's 41. So if you look at it right there, I mean he, dude's a beast, man. He's got 30 throwing, 11 rushing. That equals 41 total. He's got over 4,200 yards throwing for Josh. Only 8 turnovers on the year. That's fumbles and interceptions. Lamar Jackson's got almost 5,000 yards throwing, 39 touchdowns through the air, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 700 something yards rushing. Josh got 400 something yards rushing, and he's only got 9 turnovers for Lamar. I mean, I think you got to go co MVP. I think Joe Burrow would be a triple co MVP if he wasn't in a bad situation in Cincinnati. If he was one of the tops in the AFC, you're looking at 3 AFC quarterbacks going for the same MVP. And I think for the first time in the history of the NFL, I think they should do a triple co MVP if Cincinnati was a better team.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
he like we talked about earlier. He leads the
every category
in
in the
every
NFL.
category with completions with 361, passing yards with 3,977, and touchdowns with 36. So
Well, he's right behind Lamar and whatever. He's got Lamar.
yeah, he's right, but he's
He's in the
just
top.
missed it
I should
because of
say he's in the top 5 of every category.
yeah. Okay.
He's not first in every category, but he's in the top 5. But still, almost 4,000 yards rushing, throwing with the completions that he has, with the touchdowns of 36.
Yeah.
He's got a total of 36 touchdowns.
Yeah, he has a total of 36 touchdowns. Yeah.
Dude, he's 5 behind Lamar. 6 behind Lamar and 5 behind Allen. Dude, I would say triple co MVP, and you can even say quadruple co MVP with Saquon.
Yeah.
Imagine, dude, first time in NFL history you had 4 guys get
I
MVP.
mean, Saquon is again. He's having an historic
He's
year.
passing Eric Dickerson.
He's gonna pass Eric Dickerson.
That title has been like that since like 1970s, 80s, bro.
Hmm.
That shit's been alive for a long, long, long time, and he's gonna break it. Yes, one game over Eric Dickerson, but still, You gotta respect gaming. Games respects gaming. This guy is a baller. Um, but Josh Allen, he's got a 75% chance to win the MVP.
Yeah,
Allen,
he's definitely
Lamar's got a 30.8 just because of Josh Allen's the last couple games, man. He's been freaking 6 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 3 on the ground, 1 on the ground. Like he's been doing phenomenal. Um,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think, but I think just still Lamar Jackson is just playing really well. I think they give it to Josh Allen because Lamar's already got 2 MVPs, man. I think they give it to Josh Allen just because
I
of the
mean,
fact.
not even that. It's just Josh Allen's been performing. He's been good. You
Yeah,
know what I
but dude,
mean? Like
Lamar leads in every statistical category. He's
I
got the
know.
most passing yards. He's got the most touchdowns. He's got only one less turnover
So then, what makes him a favorite? Because
because
then,
Josh Allen.
if that's the
No,
case,
hold on.
then
I got you. Josh Allen's got the better record.
yep,
That's
hmm
it. He's got the better record.
yeah,
Uh,
that's that.
they
That could only
started.
be it.
They
Yeah,
started one. I believe they started 0-3, 0-4.
yeah, and that's when the defense was getting like destroyed, bro.
Yeah, their 1 game win was against the first game win was the third game of the season. They started 0-2, then they went 1-2, then they went 1-4, and then they just nagged off all these wins, and now they're 11-5. So I just think they're on a really good winning streak. I just think them losing badly in the games that they did lose are the reasons why he's not the MVP. He's gated all the stats. They have just statistically have been better. Allen's put on a better show, and Allen's put his team in with a better record and in better position in their division and in the AFC.
Yeah,
I mean, if we look at the AFC projections, Lamar's behind Allen and Buffalo. So I would say that's probably the reason why he's just higher. Allen's just had a better season overall. His team's had a better season, and I think that's
yeah,
the thing. So looking at statistics, Jackson has an advantage. He's thrown for 3,955 yards and 39 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, while also rushing for 852 yards and 4 touchdowns. Allen has 3,731 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 531 rushing yards with 12 rushing touchdowns. Individual statistics, of course, aren't only statistic and metric voters considered. The Bills have 2 more wins than the Ravens and have clinched the number 2 seed in the AFC. There you go. They just said it yourself. The voters may also
yeah.
determine Jackson has a better supporting cast than Allen, which is true. Allen doesn't have a good supporting cast. He doesn't have a number 1 wide receiver. He doesn't have a
He
number 1 back. Highlighted
he
by
doesn't.
running back Derrick Henry, who has rushed for over 1,700 yards this season. Allen's top teammate in terms of output is James Cook, who has just over 1,000 all-purpose yards.
But
All-purpose.
he's still a baller. But yeah,
But still,
hmm
you're not having Derrick Henry in the backfield, man. Speaking of
yep.
the running backs, Barkley is currently plus 1,600, 5.9% implied probability to win the award, tied with Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow at DraftKings. He currently holds 100 yards away from breaking Eric Dickerson's record of 2,105
Oh
rushing yards.
my gosh, he just needs 100 yards. That's so crazy.
Imagine he gets 99.
Bro,
That'd be horrible.
that'll be always in the back of my mind, bro.
That said, the
Imagine
odds
you're right
suggest
there, and it's crazy.
that I don't know what just happened. Hello?
Yeah, yeah, you're
Are you
good.
still there? Okay, yeah, something. They said the odds suggest that he has a little chance of winning MVP, even if he does break Eric Dickerson's record. When Dickerson set the record, he did not win MVP as well. At this point, the award feels like a 2-man race between Jackson and Allen. The most interesting part of the Ravens need to win in Week 18 to secure the AFC North. That's the problem. Buffalo doesn't have to win anymore. They already did. They have to win the Ravens this week coming up. While Allen and the Bills have nothing to play for with the Chiefs, having already secured the number 1 seed, that could lead to the Bills being cautious with Allen as they face the Patriots in Week 18. They're not going to do that. I think they're going to play him. The odds certainly suggest as much with the Bills set as just a 2.5 point favorites. They would be much larger favorites if Allen was expected to play the entire game. I think he plays the first half and doesn't play the second half. Still, odds makers believe Allen is the driver's seat despite what happens in Week 18. Keep an eye on the market. However, the odds have shifted considerably and could have further as news emerges the games are played. So again, it's the MVP race is not set in stone, but for right now, it's looking like Josh Allen's going to win the MVP. But again, if Lamar Jackson has 6 touchdowns in Week 18 and has 500 yards, and Josh Allen doesn't play, or he plays the first half, doesn't play the second half, we could be looking at a different thing. So basically, could be said Saquon's not going to win it unless something drastically happens and he goes for 300 yards in a game, and 3 touchdowns.
Mm,
Then I would say maybe he gets the nod. I don't think Joe Burrow's getting it, just their record. I mean, if they make the playoffs, it's fantastic. The way they started, they were 0-5. The way they started out this season was horrible. To then beat them in the playoffs is absolutely ridiculous. They were 4-8 in that Cowboys game, going into that Cowboys game. The fact of the matter is that they're now in a winning record situation and they could make the playoffs if things happen is crazy. Joe Burrow's not going to get there. I don't think it is. I think he would have to have 600 yards in a game and 7 touchdowns to even be considered as the MVP. But with his team, you never know.
I just want to clarify real quick because we did talk about passing touchdowns earlier. Joe Burrow does lead the league in passing touchdowns with 42 because of yesterday's game. Lamar Jackson right behind him. Baker Mayfield is third. Josh Allen is sixth right now with 28 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, because with total.
No, yeah. No, I just wanted to clarify because we were saying how
I meant touchdowns total, so that's on me. I meant touchdowns total, but yes,
I just wanted to clarify that. I just wanted to clarify that, and I mean, again though, Josh Allen is just having a really good season. The Buffalo Bills themselves are just having a good season. That's why
they weren't projected to do anything, dude. They weren't projected to be this good, man. Losing Stephon Diggs, losing all that defensive players, losing all those guys. They weren't projected to do anything, man. Their number 1 wide receiver, Shakur. That guy wasn't projected to be this guy. Their number 1 running back is James Cook. I love him. He's a good player. He's not Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
he's not Saquon. He's not Ashton Genty coming into the draft.
If you really like dive deep into each of their games, their defense is just not as like. It's definitely just Josh. It's just the offense. If I'm being honest, it's just the offense because the defense against top tier teams, they're giving up. Like, look, against the Rams, they lost to the Rams because they gave up 44 points.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Lions, they gave up 40. They beat the Lions, but they gave up 42 points. The Chiefs, they gave up 21 when they won 30-1. I mean, and then the Dolphins, they give up 27 points. So it's literally just an offensive heavy team. Their defense, you know what I mean? When it's against, certain teams, they're only giving up 10 points, but those are teams that are bad. Those are teams that are terrible. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Definitely this Buffalo Bills team is really well offensively. We're just gonna have to see where the defense goes into these playoffs. Hopefully that the defense won't be the downside of them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so now we're going to shift to our last and final segment. We're going to be going over the NFL draft. We're going to go over the top 13 to 15 picks or so for right now, just to see how yesterday's games have really shook up the entire draft.
We're definitely going to talk about this, because this is unbelievable.
So the substantial shakeup in the 2025 NFL draft order. The Giants, Jaguars, Raiders all won. They weren't supposed to win. That was not their goal. It was supposed to freaking
win. My gosh.
Each of those 3 teams have been in position to pick within the top 7, which means there is a new placeholder at number 1 overall, and that's the New England freaking Patriots. With their starting quarterback, Drake May. Now they're just looking for their star wide receiver. In today's thought,
and it's perfect fit.
Oh, without a doubt, it's perfect. And in their thought exercise, we explore how the Titans signing veteran quarterback Sam Darnold could impact where quarterbacks are drafted in April. So it's looking like the Titans are the number 1 team to sign Sam Darnold after this year with the Vikings. I'm sorry if I'm Minnesota. I'm not giving up Sam Darnold. J.J. McCarthy is fantastic. He's going to be a great quarterback. Sam Darnold has the team at 15-2. They're going to go 16-2. I'm calling them. They're winning next week against Detroit. They win next week. They lock up the number 1 seed in the NFC. I don't know. I was going to pick Detroit, but I'm going to go with Minnesota, man. I love the way Minnesota's playing. I'm taking Minnesota to take down Detroit in Detroit to lock up the number 1 seed in the NFC. That's how confident I am in Minnesota.
That is the battle for the number one seed.
I was gonna go with Detroit, dude, but I'm going with Minnesota. But dude, if they give up Sam Darnold, why? Sam Darnold's giving you a great year. If he takes
I
you
don't
to
think
a championship
necessarily.
game and he takes you to maybe a Super Bowl, there's no way you get rid of him. You keep him so that now JJ McCarthy can learn from a NFC championship guy, a guy that's been successful, the guy that's put your team on your back and put you to the playoffs when you weren't projected to do anything when JJ McCarthy went down. So I think the Titans, they're just going to ruin Sam Darnold. It's going to be the same situation with the Jets and wherever he went otherwise. It's going to be the same goddamn situation. He's going to start, they're going to have no team, and they're going to be absolutely shit. I don't think that's a good fit. Now, Tennessee head coach Brian Callahan has been frustrated working with the Signal Colors on a rookie contract, Will Levis, so the franchise opts for other players rather than returning to the well.
Yeah.
Without further ado, let's kick off this draft order below. We determined each pick from each pick. So this is their picks. This is how we're going to react to these picks and show you guys if we really think that these picks are
Are
really
valid.
are
Yeah.
valid and that could
Valid.
work for these teams. So round one, we're going to go with two guys. We got New England. They're taking round one, Travis Hunter. I think he's 6'1", junior from Colorado, 185. This guy is absolutely awesome. He's a position rank first, position rank, prospect rank first. He's been
Yep.
playing out of his mind. He plays both wide receiver and cornerback. He's got 96 receptions. He's got 1,258 yards, 13 yards a catch, 16 touchdowns. Travis Hunter is more advanced as a cornerback at this stage of his career, but New England needs more help for Drake May. Hunter is one of the most dynamic players in the country and one of the few worthy of consideration at this stage of the first round. He's going to play both sides for New England because they desperately need a cornerback and they also desperately need a wide receiver. So he's definitely going to play both. I think that's a perfect fit with Drake May at the quarterback position, getting a star in there. Now, pick number 2, round 1, Tennessee would be taking wide receiver Tatorio McMillan. I think this is not the right move. I think they change this, and I actually think they pick a quarterback. I don't think they're getting Sam Darnold, so I think they go and take Cam Ward for Miami. Now, you might be saying, oh, what about Shador? I think Shador is set to stone to go to New York. I think they're going to pull some stupid trend, and they're going to be able to get Shador. And I think Shador with Malik Nabers will be absolutely fantastic to watch in New York. Do I want that to happen? Hell no. I want the Giants to F up another damn draft and pick the stupid wrong dude. So I don't mind it, but I think that's what's going to happen. But they say that Tariq McMillan is going to go to Tennessee. I think the opposite's going to happen. I think Cam Ward's going to Tennessee, and McMillan is going to be picked by Cleveland, which they desperately need a wide receiver to help out. They have Judy, and that is it, dude. They got nobody else. They got Njoku, who's been injured and off the board, or this, that, and the other thing. For Deshaun Watson, they need another valuable threat. And to have Judy and McMillan with Njoku, now you're talking. And then Nick Chubb comes back, hopefully stays healthy for the year with now a broken foot on top of that big catastrophic knee injury last year. I think that's how it's going to roll, and that's where Shador Sanders will drop to number 4 and get picked by the Giants. What do you think for the top 4? Do you think I got something going here? Because I think the first pick is absurdly correct. I don't think they're going away from Travis Hunter.
Yeah. So I think the first pick is definitely a solidified role. I was worried that, maybe the Giants would probably get the first pick, or maybe the Raiders or something. You know what I mean? And then they would have to draft a quarterback. You know what I mean? Because that's what they need. They need a quarterback. Those franchises need a quarterback. For New England to land Travis Hunter, that is absolutely that's a steal, because you already have Drake May. Drake May is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Rookie quarterback.
He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks out of that class.
I agree 100%. So for New England to land Travis Hunter, it just fits all the pieces. It just works. And if he plays two sides of the ball in college, that helps their defense even more.
They need it too. They need a quarterback.
They need it too. So it just fits perfectly. That's why I was worried that if the Giants or the Raiders got the number 1 pick, would they go with a quarterback or would they go with Travis Hunter?
I think if
because
it was the Raiders, they would have probably went with Travis Hunter because the fact of the matter is that big talent in Las Vegas.
mhm.
I think the Giants would have stayed with their quarterback, because the fact of the matter is, there if that organization picked a wide receiver with picking a wide receiver last year when they wanted a quarterback last year, I'm telling you, there will be riots in the streets of
No, yeah, a hundred
East
percent,
Rutherford, and it would
a hundred
literally
percent.
burn MetLife down if they picked a wide receiver over a quarterback and they said, no, we're going to lock with Drew Lock. We're going to go with him next year and pick up Travis Hunter. Which
Yeah,
would it be cool to see Malik Neighbors, Travis Hunter on the same field offensively, and then have Travis Hunter as the defensive back in New York, in MetLife, in that stage? No, it wouldn't be. It would be pretty cool to see that, but it
but it's
wouldn't work
it's
out.
it's just like it
It's
will
not
be
the
a
smart.
clash of egos. That's
Yeah,
what it
it's
would
not
be. It would
but
be a
it's also
clash of
not the
egos.
smart. I don't think they have a clash of ego. I don't just think it wouldn't be the smart idea because they need a quarterback. That's it. It's plain and
Yeah,
simple.
100%. So yeah, but just New England landing the if they land this first pick, picking Travis Hunter, that would be amazing. Good for them. Good for the organization to get that. With Drake May and Travis Hunter being the future of their organization, I see this going a long way. Now for Tennessee to pick up McMillan again, like the number one wide receiver in the country right now. 6'5", 212, really good wide receiver. But I feel like the only reason why this network did it is it was in scenario of Sam Darnold possibly going to Tennessee. Oh no, not yeah, Sam Darnold going to Tennessee. But because that situation, we both think that that's not going to happen because he's doing amazing in Minnesota. I think they're going to re-sign him again in Minnesota and for him to do a spectacular year there. So I feel like they're probably gonna go with a quarterback here. I mean, you know, what was the other quarterback's name?
Cam Ward,
Sam. No, 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 no. The one that they have now,
JJ
Willis.
McCarthy.
No, no,
Oh,
no,
Will,
no. The
Will Levis. Will
Titans.
Levis. Will Levis. Will
Yeah,
Levis.
yeah. Will Levis. Already, there's already tension between the head coach and him, having a very frustrated season so far, and I feel like he's just not at the level to be a starting quarterback. Maybe a backup quarterback to a good team, maybe with a good quarterback so he could learn and he could adapt. So I feel like Tennessee will probably aim for a quarterback here. I don't really see them aiming for a wide receiver. I really see them aiming for a quarterback because they're not going to get Sam Darnold in our opinion. So I think they might go with Cam Ward again, like you said. I think because Shador is so established in that New York like mindset. No, I don't think. I think there's some behind the scenes going on
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to land him at number 4. So I really think they might pick up Cam Ward, and I'm gonna agree with you. Deshaun Watson coming back, you know what I mean? It's a perfect fit. Deshaun Watson, a big time quarterback. No matter how much hate he gets, he's still a really good quarterback, and
And
I
you give
feel
him
like
another wide receiver
they give him a good wide receiver. They give him the best wide receiver in the country.
other than
So
Travis Hunter.
yeah, so I'll definitely think that we'll switch it around. Okay, so we'll give them Tennessee will take Cam Ward, and I feel like that the Browns will pick up McMillan because they have an all pro quarterback. So and then you have Shador, without a doubt solidifies himself in New York. I think him and Malik Neighbors will be really a really good combo. It's going to be the same with him and Travis Hunter, and yeah, I can't disagree with that.
All right. So
I'm good with
now
the top four.
now we move around. I mean, there's a lot of the defensive line. Jacksonville's picking Mason Graham, defensive line. Jacksonville definitely needs another defensive guy. Their defense is really bad. I think they should have went with offensive, but defense is not bad. Abdul Carter from Penn State, the guy that wears number 11 for Penn State, I believe. Like Michael Parsons, he's going to Carolina. Their defense needs a lot of work, so that's good. Kevin
Yeah.
Vance Jr., offensive tackle. Definitely needs that for New York. Aaron Rodgers was the most
Mm,
sacked quarterback this year. I definitely think this is a great pickup. And then Will Johnson, this is where the Raiders fell, man. They fell all the way to the 8th pick because they decided to beat the Saints yesterday. And they're going to go
Yeah.
with Will Johnson. Will Johnson's a great player, 6'2", 202 pounds as a cornerback for Michigan. He's a great talent. He knows how to lock down defenders. He's a great dude. He knows how to play the game. But, dude, come on, man. They were going to be one of the top 4 picks, and now they'd slide all the way to 8, and they got to settle with a cornerback. Dan, they really messed up the bag. But this is not a bad pick, but they really need offense, man. But their secondary is really bad. So they really need a quarterback, which just sucks that they were able to really had to fall that low. But it's
Yeah.
just the Raiders. That's who the Raiders are. Will Campbell, offensive tackle for the Bears. Caleb Williams needs a
Much
lot
needed.
more protection, which much needed.
Much
Malik
needed.
Williams, edge for the Saints. I think the Saints' offense is good. They just need a better quarterback. Their defense was the really bad part. I'm not saying that their offense was good, crazy good, but their offense was better.
They have potential to be a better offense. They just
But
need
their
a better
defense is
quarterback.
just bad.
Yeah, their defense is terrible too. Mhm.
And then San Francisco, we don't know what the hell's wrong with this guy, Nick Scorton, edge. Just says NFL draft. Don't know where the hell this guy is at, so I'm not even going to pick. I'm not even going to go over that. I don't think San Francisco needs more defense. I think they need better offense. I think Deebo Samuel's just getting too old. He's not as explosive, and he just keeps complaining. I think they got to get some more offensive guys in there. But their defense wasn't as good as they've been. They lost a lot of guys. So maybe this is a good edge rusher that they need. 6'4", 285 pounds, a little on the small side when it comes to pounds-wise for a defense end. But it means he's mobile, he's fast. So we'll see. I just don't know where this guy's from. So then we got a Malika Starks, safety for Georgia. Very good player going to the Colts. Their defense was really their problem this year, which the Colts defense was one of their best defenses. They're one of their best things for the last couple years. But their offense was the problem. This year, the offense wasn't half bad, even with Anthony Richardson going out for a little bit and Joe Flacco coming in. But it was really their defense just could not. They just gave up 45 points to the Giants. I mean, if you're giving up 45 points to the Giants, you got a problem defensively. I'm sorry.
Like if the Giants are trying and them trying is dropping 45 on you, defense was definitely the problem. 100%.
Definitely. And then the last but not least, guys, this is where all the Cowboys fans were really hard on because we wanted to get one of those top picks thinking that Ashton Genty was going to go early. But most of these teams don't need a running back, Irv, if you look at it. Other than, I would say, the Giants, but the Giants need a quarterback more than they need a running back. I would say the Colts don't have Jonathan Taylor. San Francisco, no, they got McCaffrey.
They got McCaffrey,
yeah. Saints, they got freaking Alvin Kamara. Bears, they have their guy. I forgot his name. Raiders, they have their guy. Jets have Brees Hall. Panthers got Chubba Hubba. Mason Graham, they got Travis Etienne. Giants, they have their guy. They just need a quarterback. Cam Ward, Cleveland, they have Nick Chubb. Tennessee,
I just think that all these different teams they don't need a running back. They need a wide receiver,
quarterback, offensive lineman, or
defense. They need quarterbacks. They need linemen. So running back, that's why the best running back in the country is falling this down low because no team needs it. Because if you look at the Cowboys offensively, they have weapons. I mean, that
has been their prime thing that they couldn't do.
Yeah,
fucking football. They have the last 5 games. They've been fantastic. Rico Dowell has 1,000 yards. He's the first 1,000-yard undrafted player on the Cowboys that has ever reached 1,000 yards in their history. Just how long the history of the Dallas Cowboys has been alive? That has been the first time an undrafted player was able to reach 1,000 yards rushing. That shows you something. That means Rico is a very good running back. Don't tell me no. I'm not even being biased. You would not want to see Ashton Genty and Rico Dowell. You know how good that dual threat running back is?
I mean, bro, those are both. If
you keep Zeke
on the ball, is crazy.
If you keep Zeke, right? Let's say you keep Zeke. He's slow. He's whatever. He's older, right? Veteran, right? Veteran. Keep him in that thing. Ashton Genty just reminds me of a faster Zeke. He's this big, but he's a faster Zeke. A faster Zeke. And he runs through the tackles. Zeke used to just bull rush his head into people. He runs through the tackles. He'll run over people, but if you see him, he's more on that juice.
He's very good on his feet.
He reminds me, he's 5'9", right? He reminds me a little bit of I'm not.
Don't say it. Don't
I'm
say
gonna
it.
wait.
Don't say
I'm
it.
gonna
Don't
wait
say
until he
it.
gets there. But the size, look at 215. He's only 5'9". Dude,
I
he
swear.
moves the way he looks through the tackles. Emmett Smith, man.
Okay.
Emmitt
All
Smith,
right.
dude. Hey, look,
All
I'm
right.
gonna show you. This is why
I
the comparison of the
I'm
size. I'm only comparing
uh-huh.
the size. I'm not and the way he runs. I'm not comparing. I will never compare anybody
Okay.
to Emmitt Smith. I'm just saying Emmitt Smith's size. Hold on. Emmitt Smith's size compared to
Uh,
Ashton Genty. So Emmitt Smith is 5'9", 216, bro. Ashton Genty is 5'9", 215.
listen, I know you Cowboys fans have
No, no,
been
no.
going
I'm not
through
even
it.
being
I
crazy.
understand.
I'm just saying, as size, he looks and is very similar. Ashton Jensen's got a little bit more of a
So
wide
you're
body.
so you're saying he potentially could be
No,
Emmett's.
no one's gonna touch Emmitt Smith. That's not even close. I'm just
I
saying.
hope I hope I hope that's what you mean. I
No,
hope
no,
that's
no.
what you mean.
That listen to what I'm saying. That has a.
I'm listening. I'm just saying, because I
I'm
know
comparing
there's a lot
size.
of
I'm comparing.
depression after that.
No,
You
no,
know
no.
what I mean?
Comparing
Because
size
Dallas is
and I'm
not.
comparing speed and I'm comparing the way he runs. If you look
Mhm.
at some highlights of Emmitt Smith, he runs through the tackles. He runs away. He has patience. Zeke never had patience. He literally just said, all right, I'm going to take this big ass head. I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to run through you. That's exactly what it was. That's why he didn't last that long. Why Rico Dowell is the same thing. He won't last that long. Why Tony Pollard is good is because he runs through the tackles. He is patient. He goes with the tackles. Ashton Genty, if you look at a lot of his runs, he's running and juking and running through. Again, I am not comparing him to Emmitt Smith. I'm just comparing his game is a little
Yeah.
similar coming out of college, like Emmitt Smith when he was with the Cowboys, running through the tackles, looking, being patient, and when he has to, he will put his head down and run over body. But it's more of speed, which Emmitt Smith
Mhm.
had, skill, movement. He had a low base, which he's only 5'9". Emmitt Smith was 5'9". Emmitt Smith was 216. Ashton Genty's 215, dude. All I'm saying, he looks and his game is a lot of Emmitt Smith X, like movement.
Okay. I see what you're
That's
saying.
what I'm
Okay.
saying. Not comparing him, dude. Don't get me twisted.
No,
Emmitt
I,
Smith
I
is the
mean
best
that
running back
technically
of
is
all
not
time.
necessarily comparing. You're just saying that he's probably going to reach that level of eliteness and
Nah,
being
I wouldn't even
almost
say reach that level. He just has that what's the word? I don't want to say aura. It's not an aura.
wow.
He has that like skill. I would say he has the skill to get to that level. Will he? We'll see because the Cowboys do fuck up a lot of their shit. So I don't know. Is the offensive line good enough like the Cowboys back in the 90s? Not even close. Not even close. When DeMarco Murray was there back then in 2016, 2014, that was different. When Dez was still there, that was different. That's when I would say that we had that offensive line and DeMarco Murray looked like that type of guy. But dude, he's not a big dude, but he's
Yeah.
that small, shifty guy that's still big enough to run your ass over, but he will be smart. I just think off the stuff that I've seen, he reminds me of just how Emmitt Smith played. Not how
Right.
great he's played, how he played, and how he ran through the tackles and really manipulated the defense to his ability to push down the
Yeah.
field and get through those tackles. But I don't think he's gonna. I gotta see things. I gotta see it now. If he dominates Penn State tomorrow, then he's looking like he's the best running back in a while that came out of college. I mean, he might be
Yeah.
even better than Zeke. If he's able to dominate Penn State and then he's able to push to he gets them to the college football playoffs, the final, the championship game,
Oh my gosh. The potential will
the
be
potential is going to off the
it's
craze. But again,
crazy.
Boise State doesn't have anybody but him.
They
So
don't have, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It would be absolutely insane. I will watch that game because
I'm
that is
watching that tomorrow, dude. That's the only game I really want to watch. I don't want to watch
it's
Alabama
tomorrow
versus
the game.
Yes, 7:30, bro.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I might go on a limb here. I know I said I picked SMU to get the upset over Penn State, which I know I should have picked Penn State. I just liked SMU a lot. But I'm telling you, dude, I am so close of picking Ashton Genty and Boise State to take down Penn State.
But if you see, I know Penn State dominated SMU. I know that they did. But there were some cases where SMU should have scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
They were getting walked down the field. I
and
wanted to
then
say that
yeah,
in the last episode
turnover.
for the recap. They oh my gosh, there was just too many turnovers to that was not supposed to be a turnover. SMU literally walked down the field with Penn State's defense. They walked them. And then it was just a simple mistake by the QB that ended up making it seem like Penn State was such this God fearing defense. I will not be surprised
Exactly.
if
Dude, they threw him two
I would
pick sixes,
not be
bro, in the first quarter.
surprised. I it I would not again not be surprised if Boise State makes an upset because of Ashton Jetty. I will not be surprised, bro. And I say this with everything. I will not be surprised because Penn State, I know they dominated SMU, but bro, the Boise State is third seed for a reason. Third or
I,
first.
I really agree, man. I really agree. I really think that the Boise State has a shot. But back to the draft, dude. Ashton Jetty. All I'm saying is that I'm not comparing him to Emmett Smith. I'm just saying he looks and he plays a lot like Emmett Smith, which can do him really well. Why Emmett Smith lasted so long in the NFL was because he wasn't that guy that's just gonna run you over and
Run
put his
through
head
every.
down
He would
and
avoid,
smack.
use his
He
feet.
was
He was
very smart. And I
yeah.
see that with Ashton Genty. He's a very smart player and he's very young, but for him to have that IQ just shows you that he has the ability to get the job done
Yeah.
when you're needed to get the job done. When we won, when the Cowboys won it, again, I wasn't alive. My dad told me last, so I watched a lot of film. When the Cowboys needed something, they either they gave it to Emmett Smith and said, "Yo, Emmett, we need a first down. Go get that shit." Got that
Yep.
shit, and that opened up Troy Aikman. That opened up Michael Irvin. That opened up everything. So I'm just saying, I'm not comparing him like I said, but I'm saying his game is a lot like it. And if we do pick him up, we have a good track record of making running backs who are one of the best in the league in college football into one of the best in the NFL. Think of Zeke, think of DeMarco Murray, Emmett Smith, Pollard. Pollard was one of the best backs in the league when he was with the Cowboys, and now he's with Tennessee. So look at all the guys that've been with us. We've have a good track record of making teams, making players very good running backs.
Yeah.
Just saying, watch out. I'm telling you, I'm saying it right now. I'm calling it right now, December 30th, 5:20 on Monday, here on the Fire Sports Pod. If these teams let the Cowboys get Ashton Genty, I don't care what the hell happens. He's going to turn into the best running back in the NFL. Calling it right now.
Mm, okay.
Don't let the Cowboys get Ashton Genty because that's what we need and that's what we want. Do you know Ashton Genty opens up everything for the Cowboys? And I'm not even going to go on a limb here. I'll say we're winning the Super Bowl if we get him. Nah, 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 nah. I'm a realist Cowboys fan. I'm just saying the season with Dak is going to go a lot better than this season because our problem this year, we couldn't run the fucking football. And we
Yeah.
literally had to drop back 80 times. And that's why his hamstring fell out, dude. Do you know how hard it is to play shotgun, stand on your feet like this, walk 10 steps back, run around, throw the ball? Like he was throwing the ball like 60 times a game. And that's why he got hurt and tore his hamstring because all that pressure on his left foot, which is his plant foot, was the reason why he got hurt. I would say 100%. Why? Because it's too much. You can't do that. You can't do it. Can't do it all the time. You saw it with a lot of quarterbacks. You cannot do it all the time. You need to be able to use the play action and use the running game for your advantage. And if you can't, that's why those teams don't make it that far. And either those teams get lucky and they make it to the playoffs and then they don't get anywhere after that. Why? Because of the fact that
Yeah.
they're just
Hmm.
too dependent on the passing game. You got to have a running game. As they say, defense wins championships. Well, offense needs the defense. But in order to really be able to have an offense, you need to be able to have a balanced offense. And if you don't have a running game, you don't have a balanced offense.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say. I don't know if you agree with me, but that's just what I'm saying. I just think the Cowboys really need
I
a
mean,
run.
the Cowboy. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
you're good. That's all I was saying. I was just saying the last thing for me, and then you could just end it, and then we'll end the show.
yeah. So just the last couple pointers. I mean, Dallas really can develop a really good running back. They could. I feel like they would be the best pick for Genty because they do need a running back to play alongside because Zeke is already he's getting
He's
old.
done. He's done.
Yeah, he's getting old, but having him there as a veteran running back to help Gentee, I think that would be
Enrico Dowell, he's an undrafted guy. He showed you that he hard.
yeah with Dowell and with Zeke. I think that Ashton Gentee will develop into a really good running back in the NFL without a doubt. And yeah, I just don't think any other team really necessarily need a running back. So I think you guys will solidify and possibly get Ashton Gentee in this draft. And I'll be happy for Dallas. I'll be happy for you guys for picking him up. I think that'll be a great pickup. I think every other team, they need the defensive people. They need the linemen. They need the quarterbacks. They need the wide receivers. So I think you guys have just
Really
solidified
not
this.
a big running back draft this year. Not even close.
Yeah, it's not big. He's
Really
number
think
one, and
Ashton
he
Gentry.
leads them by a mile. He leads them in all statistics by a crazy amount of. So yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that the voters, the fans, and everybody said that the popular vote went to Ashton Gentry.
yeah, hundred
So,
percent.
I mean, to be honest, I'd say that's just because of the fact that Travis Hunter did some crazy crap by playing both sides. That's the only reason why you won.
That's
Because
the only reason why.
if he
That's
was
literally
just
the only
normal,
reason why.
yeah, that's it. If he was just normal, Ashton Gentry would have ran away with the race. Not even close.
Not even close.
And to
Yeah,
be honest, I think if Travis would have played one side of the ball, I think Shador Sanders would have been in that
he
MV
would have. He
in
would
that
have
Heisman.
definitely. Shador definitely would have been up there.
If it
Definitely.
wasn't for Travis Hunter, you can't have two of the same players from the same team. Same thing for
Yeah.
the MVP. That's why there will never be two players from the same squad.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but that's pretty much it for the show, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it here on Recap Monday, Season 6, Episode number 13 here on the Fire Sports Pod. We are powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. Here's our co-host, Irv. We'll be back at it again on another episode. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for Season 6, Episode number 14, which will be New Year's Day. So we'll catch you guys then. Hope you guys have a happy New Year, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace out.